Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and today I seen that there was a new blog post for Girls Frontline 2 on Pridewin, and it showcases a bunch of new stuff, new character that'll be coming up in the future, as well as some things they're looking at implementing within the game on the CN version in the future. And the nice thing about, even though CN's about a year ahead of us within terms of the gameplay and all that and the characters, one thing they have done is we have seen a lot of the quality of life stuff come earlier for us. We've already seen the platoon system come out earlier than it did for them. We have a lot of the changes they made to the events, the changing around the characters coming out, some of the dorm features that they didn't have originally. And so we can expect some of these other quality of lives potentially coming for us a little bit sooner as well. So first we'll kind of go through this whole thing. We have the next character here. I don't think there's really any information on them other than their name is going to be Yuhi. And kind of go here. So there is a podcast on it, but this is kind of already breaking it all down, so we don't have to look at it there. The new character, she's a support who wields a K2 assault rifle, so another assault rifle user. A lot of assault rifle users in this game. And then her skin has what it looks to be toggleable elements, which you can customize the skin how you want. So there's a bunch of different things that you can toggle on and off for the skin, it looks like. And you can kind of see it here in a video they have. So I'll kind of put it on the full screen for everyone to see here. And so you can see this one has like longer pants type deal, different hats or head part pieces on it. This one has, like, they all have, like, different, like, bra types on them. So, just all kinds of little different unique things on the skin. So, you can kind of customize it to however you want it. It's kind of blurry. It's coming from the CN site, which they always seem to come through blurry for me. So, we have that. Diane, who we currently have out in global right now, has got a mod key that will be coming out. It doesn't give any details that I've seen on it yet, but I'll give information on that as soon as we see it. But definitely looks like they are trying to improve the physical characters, so if you haven't picked up Diane now, you may potentially want to do it, but you can always pick her up in the future, so who knows if we'll see what her mod key is going to be before her banner ends for us. It looks like there will be an achievement store added, so as you get achievements done in the game, you're going to gain points, and that can be used to buy stuff within that shop, whatever it may be, whether it's materials, characters, and all the other things that it kind of mentions here, weapons and skins. New skins coming out. It looks like Vector will be getting a new skin, which you can see here. Vector is a great character, and one that is going to be on my priority list for pretty much everybody to get if you're going to go on the burn team. And she has actually a very, very good V1. One of the few that I will say, even for your low spenders, maybe even potentially free to play, you will want to eventually get that first dupe. Maybe not right off the bat, but maybe on a rerun, because she has one of the best V1s in the game. So I like to get the skins the most on the characters I'm going to use the most, and she's one that will get a ton of use if you're going with the burn side of things. And then they mention all the quality of life updates and stuff coming up. And this is this area where it could change the game completely, how it's played, adding a lot more depth to it. We'll kind of have to see how that some of this works out, because it's just them stating these are things they're looking into. It's not direct, this is what's coming. But they want to improve the auto battle feature, giving more control over them. So the first thing is adding the ability to prioritize the use of the abilities. That is going to be amazing, because one of the problems we have is you have great units like QJ, I would even say Macchiato, and QJ is kind of the biggest one, because she'll run on the other side of the map sometimes, and then she'll immediately use her ultimate, which is only good when you're going to have four characters all be able to trigger her current 4 support actions, and if she's away from the combat, even when your teammates attack, she's not going to be able to do her support action, so it gets wasted. And she'll do it last sometimes, meaning all your characters have already acted, and then she'll run it. And so being able to customize how it works for your characters is going to make it where you can actually build them to be a lot more useful on the auto side of things. And that'll be really nice for things like the platoon battles, because one problem is platoon battles, while I like them, you're having to do it 7 times in the week that it's online for that boss battle, and it can get repetitious. And if you want to, especially right now when you're not able to kill the boss and you're just trying to maximize your points, it can be quite time consuming trying that. So if you can fine tune the auto battle based on your likings, maybe you'll be able to auto it a lot easier in the future. and then you won't have to, so the repetitious content won't be as tedious in that. So that'll be great. More 2x drop events, because resources are an issue, definitely. Now, we're getting to the tail end, at least me, and I know some people are starting to get into that max level, so maybe in a month or so, you'll have your grinding done for your character and weapon XP, and then you can focus on attachments, and then it just becomes a balancing act between the character and the other mod items needing for upgrading them, as well as attachments, because most people, especially free to play, you're not going to be pulling every character, and so XP becomes less of an issue, but it's still going to be an issue in the future, and so more 2x events will be great. Hopefully that just translates immediately to us as soon as it's available for them. Animations of bosses when you're entering will be shortened. Yeah, like on the platoon battles, it's annoying. If you're doing 3 hits a day, I mean, that's like an extra, yeah, it's only like 30 seconds, but I mean, it can be kind of annoying just having to see that all 3 times. Once you've seen it once, I don't need to see it again and again and again every time. So that'll be nice there. More images on the loading screens of voice lines, what will be added to the side story and events. More immersive, plans to make side stories that are plot relevant, voice better than other play experience. This is the big one, though, and additional difficulty is in development. The goal is to provide a challenge for players who want it. And it says, plans are made to rework the side story such that event stage main challenge becomes harder and requires more strategizing relative to the current state where the players just turn on auto and watch Kluke kill everything, which might ruin immersion. And that is quite true. I mean, you've already seen everybody says, just get Kluke. I even say Kluke is the best unit. And even if you can, even as a free-to-play or light spender, try and get to her V3 at some point, whether it's doing it through multiple reruns, because she's just so broken in that matter. If they make it where, hey, she's not going to be the end-all to be-all, that'll be great, because I like to use the other characters as well. I do plan to make a video to kind of showcase some videos I've seen of others posting, of like the Burn team, for example, and seeing how great they do, and it's real, and how much fun they can be with their style of play, as well as some of the others. And then you kind of have the problem, which they kind of hint on here, is everything kind of is a DPS check at the current endgame. You can already see that with platoon battles, where that boss is pretty much the most difficult in terms of endgame content, where the goal is just to do as much damage to the boss as you can. Fairly easy to survive. I mean, I only have Suomi as my main sustain, and so my second and third team, I don't even have a sustain, and my team is still able to keep themselves alive while they're just throwing everything they can at the boss. So adding more complexity that requires either a sustain or more strategy will be great to make it and shake it up on the end game, as well as making other units useful, because there's a lot of useful units right now. Lena's going to be a great one that we have coming up. I'm going to advise everybody to get, because she has so much CC. But right now, the endgame content really doesn't need it, because it's just DPS checks. So more of that being required will make the value of those characters go up, and which is why I knew that kind of stuff had to be coming at some point in the future, because they have characters built around those concepts, like Lena. The whole electric side of things being able to CC heavily. You have the ice side of things, which has decent DPS, but their main thing is slowing the enemies down so they can't move as quickly. And you have fire, which if you need damage, burn is going to be your main DPS, is going to do the biggest damage. Corrosion is going to do the big damage, and it seems like more the AoE side of things. So we'll kind of have to see what they implement to make it where you can't just straight Kluke everything, which will be great there. I'm excited to get that. It's not going to change my opinion for me. Personally, getting someone like Kluke, because she is really good in that aspect, but it is definitely going to continue to show the value of all the other characters that will be coming up as well. We have that. They have a new feature that'll be coming up to test your character's DPS, so like a DPS dummy type system. That'll be great. Just have something where you can just have your character shooting at it with, maybe you can set this dummy up, maybe it'll be like an enemy, and you can say, have the enemy attack your team 4 times, and then you can watch all the support actions trigger off, and then it'll tell you how much total damage they did. That would be great if you can set up the test dummy to do whatever you want, whether you want it attacking certain units, doing certain actions, and then seeing how your team reacts and how much damage actually comes out of them, so you can min-max the damage based on bosses. So that'll be really great. Kind of have to see how that turns out, because just a straight stagnant dummy won't be that useful, because a lot of the damage on some of the best characters comes from reaction type abilities. So we'll have to see how that works out. They have the plan to optimize the attachment enhancements. There will be additional features to help improve the outcome of refining attachments such that it can be more easily optimized. I'm going to guess this is something similar to the little disk drive that allows you to make every stat be at least 100. Maybe they add in some other unique ones that guarantees maybe a max 200 stat on one or two, making it a little bit different. Like if you're only focused on crit and crit rate, maybe you can get those maxed out much easier, and then the other ones you just take the risk on being below 100, but they're not as high priority. Who knows how they'll change that up, but it will be definitely nice to have an easier time grinding your attachments. They have the dorm rework being released in the summer for them. I'm wondering if that has to do with like the open world area where you can actually walk around within the Elmo now. I'm not sure on that, but that is everything mentioned here. So right now, this is a really good update that they have given. It shows they are recognizing some of the issues that are brought up with the endgame, because the endgame is the big deal. I mean, we're all starting to get to that point now. A lot of people have done the decisive battles, and while it's fun, it can get tedious in the future, especially if it doesn't change it up. Right now, if you're level 60, like I am, I've been able to auto the entire event. And so it brings out, gets away from the fun of actually doing the content. If you're just, because once Clue K comes out, I plan to V6 Clue K, and she's just going to be able to auto everything. And so it'll be nice to see some content that makes it where you can't just do that. But we'll see what happens with that in the future. But overall, some great updates on it, some good looking skins coming out for characters. And more mod keys. Those are always going to be good. I like to see them bringing old characters and making them relevant again. I definitely think with Diane and when we had Faye coming out, when Faye came out, where she enhanced physical damage, we may potentially see physical become its own meta element where you can do a full physical team and really take advantage of that element so they don't feel as weak as they currently do, simply because having elemental weak has its advantages versus just being able to be doing the bullet type damage. But we'll kind of have to see how it shakes up. I will give more information as it comes out, as we see these things come out on the CN side, and hopefully we can get some announcements of some of these quality of life updates coming to the global sooner than they are coming out for CN. We'll see where that comes for that. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps, and thanks for watching.